Hey everyone. Hi, Allison. Welcome to the Connected Yoga Teacher Live podcast interview. How are you doing today, Allison?
I'm doing really great. Feeling really excited for our upcoming conference, but it's a great excitement. So I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I feel like the sun is out. Things are warming up. It's feeling good over here. I am curious to hear for those who are here for the replay or who are here live, how are you doing? Where are you tuning in from today? Pop something into the comments and tell us how you're doing. Also, we're going to chat about continuing education. So if you have questions, um, put those in there or comments as we go. We love comments as we go. So, Allison, for anyone who doesn't know what you do, tell us what is the work that you do and who do you do it for?
I help yoga teachers. I am putting together the first annual Yoga Teacher Conference. And this conference is really about providing affordable continuing education, resources, and a connection for yoga teachers. As you say on your podcast all the time, Shannon, it can sometimes get kind of lonely, running back and forth between classes and doing this whole thing by ourselves. So finding this community of like-minded professionals and then also being able to find affordable resources is really important for us to be able to up-level ourselves and help more people.
I am so excited that you're doing this conference. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor for the live show, who is also sponsoring the conference. So, Offering Tree. If any of you don't know what Offering Tree is, each and every week there are questions in the Connected Yoga Teacher Facebook group where teachers are saying, "How do I build a website? How do I schedule people so that they can pay online and it integrates with Zoom? How can I put my courses and videos online?" And Offering Tree is really putting all of this together, and I have a coupon code, offeringtree.com/Shannon. And so, Allison, what do you tell people about Offering Tree when, because I know that you know this company as well.
I really love Offering Tree because they are one of the first companies I've found that really caters to yoga teachers. We have unique needs that are not always met by other platforms. And Offering Tree really understands our unique needs, and they are always building things just for us. I mean, it's
Yes.
amazing. Often I feel like I don't feel valued as a yoga teacher, but Offering Tree makes me feel really valued as a yoga teacher. And they're just a really great company to work with because they have similar missions and values as yoga teachers. So it's a great company to support. I feel ethically good about supporting them.
Me too. I totally agree. Someone just said the other day in the Facebook group, "Hey, does Offering Tree do sliding scale?" And someone else commented, "Yes, they do. They just added it." And that's where I feel like you're right. I feel like they're really listening to what yoga teachers need. And that is why, like, that's why they're the sponsor for different things. I know you're like me. I like to work with companies who have really strong values and who I'm already talking about anyway. So
Mhm.
it's not an effort to want to shout it from the rooftops. So tell us, first of all, why, like, kind of the backstory of why do you think it is that continuing education is so important for yoga teachers?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is as yoga teachers, we love to learn. I have never met a yoga teacher who is like, okay, I took my 200 hour, now I'm done. Like we love to learn, but it can often be a challenge, I think, to learn all of it. And I'm not saying that the conference is going to help you learn all of it, right? But there's a lot of things for us to learn in yoga. We have asana, we have anatomy, we have business, we have, how to be a better teacher. Then we have even things that are beyond asana, pranayama, mantra, mudra. I mean, you want to go into a study of the Bhagavad Gita? You could study that for like 200 hours probably. So there's
Yeah.
always more for us to learn. And I feel like it can be a challenge to find a place to learn all of those things, to kind of dip your toe in. And so I really wanted to create this conference to help teachers dip their toe in a lot of different areas, so they could kind of explore it and find out, I took this Bhagavad Gita class and turns out it wasn't for me right now. I'm going to come back to that in a few years. But I really loved learning about the chakras. So I think that's one of the reasons why it's important, is just because we love to learn, and there's so much to learn in yoga. The journey just never ends. It's awesome.
Yes. I just bumped into a yoga teacher yesterday who was saying, I think 200 hours need to make way for 300 hours. Like, there's so much that we can learn. And I get that. And I also get that some people are like, I need my 200 hour now, and then I want to continue to learn. Renee is here saying, we do love learning. Thanks so much for being here live, Renee. We also love learning from Renee all about productivity. And someone else is saying, hi, Shannon. I constantly take courses and learn new stuff. I think this is so true. If you're watching on Facebook, you might want to put your name if it's not showing up with your image and name. You might want to put your name in your comments here. Okay, so we love learning as yoga teachers. And one thing that really caught my eye is that you said you think it's important that we have affordable ways to do that. So tell us why that's important to you.
Well, I know for myself, especially whenever I was first starting to teach yoga, it became really expensive to take some trainings. I wasn't making much whenever I first started. And I mean, not that I'm like rolling in the dough right now either. I'm still not making a ton of money. And to be able to find affordable continuing education, it removes the barriers, and it allows us to continue learning. Some teachers are only making $12 a class.
Right.
You need to find affordable resources. A lot of teachers are serving underrepresented communities, and they need more access to affordable resources as well. So I don't want to create something in our industry that feels like it's only accessible to rich people or to people who have a second income or who are married and have that second income in their home. We need affordable resources that are open to everybody, especially yoga teachers who are often doing heart-centered work and often aren't making a ton of money. So that's very important to me.
And so the conference that you're putting together, I feel like the original plan was to do it in person, and now it's all online. And I feel like that also makes it accessible at the same time.
It really does. I mean, I love in-person events, but they are more expensive to run an in-person event. Plus you have the travel and everything else. So having a virtual event like this makes it so much more affordable and accessible for everybody. I do plan on going back to in-person events because they're close to my heart. But even whenever we have an in-person event, I'm not planning on charging $500 for it. I still want to make it affordable for teachers. But the virtual events really open up that accessibility and affordability. It's one of the benefits that I did not really see until we've been in this situation. It's been great.
Now you do something unique. The last event that I was part of that you did online, you hosted it on, is it Circle that you hosted it on?
I use Mighty Networks.
Mighty Networks, that's what it is.
Yeah, because I like that connection. It's instead of using another Facebook group or anything like that, Mighty Networks gives us the course platform plus that community feel where we can always ask questions and we can interact with each other. Our speakers can be in there interacting as well, because I think that connection and community piece is really important. And then after the conference, we still have that platform, so we still share and discuss and talk about things that are important for us.
Yeah, I still get email notifications like when there's discussions going on in there. So I feel like Mighty Networks, I was actually very impressed with it because it felt like I could just open it up and everything was there, the schedule and everything very organized,
Mhm.
which is important. It's nice to know. Let's see. We have a couple of comments here. Sherry's here. Sherry, it's so nice to see you here live. Sherry's saying, so true. I'm always doing at least one training all the time. I love learning more. And Renee is saying, I can't wait for the in person. We're also hungry for that in person connection, but the online one is still so beautiful. I agree. So tell us, when is the conference happening? Because it's coming up soon.
It is. It's only in like less than 2 weeks. So May 21st to the 23rd. It's a 3-day event. And everyone's first question is, do we get access to the replays? And yes, you get access to all the replays until December 31st. And actually, we even have some on-demand content that's immediately available. So as soon as you register, you can already start to learn. And then you have the whole year that you get access to that content. So even if you can't make it that weekend, I know things come up. We have graduations happening and all sorts of great stuff. But at some point, if you want to learn more about your business or the chakras or Ayurveda or Yoga Nidra, then you're going to want to attend now, register now, so you get access to all of this content throughout the year.
Oh, that's great. And so I'll put the website up here too. yogateacherconf.com/elevate is how they would get there. I mean, if you go to yogateacherconf.com, you'll see where you can sign up and join that. This is great. Now, when you said it's all across the board, like you're talking about business and yoga philosophy, and what are all of the kind of areas that you touched on, and how did you choose?
It was really hard, especially because whenever I'm planning the in-person event, I plan to have almost 200 hours worth of classes, which would have been way too overwhelming for a virtual event. So I really pared it down to only 50 hours. Only 50 hours. It was obviously hard for me to choose. But I chose topics that I thought were most relevant for teachers now. And we need business for yoga teachers right now. I know a lot of teachers are looking for that content as we're growing our own businesses. I chose beyond asana skills. These are skills like mantra, mudra, bhakti yoga, things like that to help us teach better, either online or in person. I chose classes that are focused on teaching skills, so like incorporating Ayurveda into your classes, or learning how to set up new sequences, things that can refresh and re-inspire your teaching, right? And then finally, I chose classes on living your yoga. Oh, and I have some anatomy in there, of course, because anatomy is important.
Right.
But also then living your yoga, because I think it's really important right now, especially right now, that we're all working towards living our yoga on the mat and off the mat. That is such a key right now. So I just tried to find the classes that I thought teachers would resonate with most, that they were wanting, and classes that we need right now too. It was hard
Oh,
though.
I bet. I bet. That's amazing. So 50 hours. How much are the tickets? Like, I feel like you're right about accessibility. How much are the
Yeah.
tickets? I don't have that right in front of me.
They're only $179. And if you use your coupon code TCYT, you can get $25 off of that.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. I need to tell you all about this. $25 comes off of that. And also there's a donation that
Yes.
is being made. So
Yes.
tell our listeners about that.
So whenever you use this coupon code TCYT, you get $25 off your ticket, plus $25 is going towards a fund to help India right now, because they need our help. So that gives a lot. It's a way to give back to the community, and also still serve yoga teachers.
I'm so excited about that. I was just telling Allison before we hit go here that the the yoga teaching, like this yoga marathon that I was a part of, we raised over $100,000 for Khalsa Aid in India. And it's just amazing to see yoga teachers coming together, and a portion of that goes to help people. I mean, that's a win-win for everyone. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay. When do people have to register by? Like, can they register all the way up until the date of this May 21st?
I will close registration before the conference starts. So I will close registration on May 21st at midnight. But register soon because you get access to that on-demand content, so you can start learning right away. Yeah,
That's amazing.
That's what I would suggest.
Does anyone have any questions who's here live? Sherry was saying, yeah, yay, love replays, which we all do. And thank you, Renee, is saying, I love that you give back, Allison. I think it's so important. And, it's really, we're very lucky to have yoga here with us in North America. You and I are both in North America, and it's a way to give back to a country and a culture that has given a lot and is in need right now. Yeah. Could you drop a few names of the key speakers? That's a great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. So I am most excited for Indu Aurora's class. She is going to be our featured speaker, talking about self-care for yoga teachers. And I love how she named her class, Self-Care for Yoga Teachers, Self-Care for Beyond 2021. And that just feels really juicy right now. I think we all need that. We also have Kaya Minlin, who will be presenting at the conference on Bhakti. Then we also have, I have to think about everyone. I know everyone. I know Amanda McKinney will be speaking on Elevate Your Marketing. We have Mado Hesselink, who's going to be speaking on teaching more than just asana. And Libby Hensley, who will be teaching about anatomy and hypermobility. And let's see, my yoga therapy teacher is teaching, Hansa Knox will be presenting on yoga for post-COVID. So yoga for long haulers.
Right. This is so important. I'm so glad that you're covering that. Wow.
Yeah, really important things that we all need to know right now that our students are asking us about. I think that's really the key thing. This conference can be really timely. So we need these skills right now. Things are changing so fast in the yoga industry. We need to keep up, right?
Yeah.
We need to keep up with our own skills. It's our responsibility to our students. It's our responsibility as yoga teachers to continue with our continuing education. So I wanted to pick topics that were really important. Yeah. So that's just a few. Like I said, there's over 50 hours. So there's like 25 teachers. Amanda Kingsmith will be there, Sid McNary, lots of people.
That's amazing. Someone else says, this sounds amazing. I agree. Like, I know how you put an event together. I feel like the other one was just a small event. This is the big one. And it sounds like it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And so nice to see someone from North Dakota.
Hello, my fellow North Dakotan.
Any other questions from anyone who's here live or watching the replay? Feel free to drop that into the comments. What has been something that you've learned from putting this together, Allison, of putting together, like, how many speakers are there?
So there are 32 speakers.
That's huge.
It is very big. I would say one of the big things I have personally learned is the importance of, whenever you do kind of grow your business, the importance of communication and having good systems in place. Because it can be overwhelming. I mean, I don't want to even show anyone my email inbox right now.
Renee, help us, because I was just telling Renee over the weekend, like, my inbox is terrible. And she said, I should start teaching more on this. Okay.
Yeah. So that has been a big one. And I've even worked with Renee, so I'm doing way better than what I was. But it can still be, it's just a lot, especially in this changing environment right now. The biggest lesson I've learned over the past year is letting go, letting go of, I originally started planning this conference, in-person conference, in November 2019.
Yes.
And now to have to let that go and make space for something new, that has been the biggest lesson that I have definitely learned over the year, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I'm not the only person right now. I'm sure almost everyone can relate. But letting go of one thing makes room for more in our lives. And that's why I think this virtual event will be great, because I can offer it for a more affordable price. We can reach more people, and I can open up my speakers to more speakers as well, especially more diverse speakers who may not live right around where I live. And so that's
Right.
really special. It's great.
That's amazing. And so then if people want to chat with you after this conference, if they want to go check it out, see how it is, and possibly apply as a teacher, do you also have a place on your website for the next year? Or am I asking you a question like you're like, oh, why are you asking me that?
No, I do. I don't have my teacher applications open yet. So the best thing to do if you do want to teach is join our email list. And don't unsubscribe. Stay on our email list. And once this conference ends, starting in June, I'm going to be opening up more of those teacher applications for our April 2022 event, which will be in person. So yes, great question. That will be coming up in June already, because we got to book out. If you're an in-person, you want to know ahead of time if you're going to be traveling. So,
Oh my gosh, I feel like putting that on my calendar now so I can attend and see some friends. Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun.
yes.
Um, here is someone saying, oh, this is Shauna or Chana from North Dakota to Jerusalem, Israel. That's amazing.
Wow.
Also, Renee is saying it's in the works, the email thing. Be kind to yourselves, my inbox 999 plus friends. Thanks, Renee. Thanks for the permission to just be like, I skimmed my email today and then I was like, oh, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
She's also saying the conference really is so special. It is. I'm excited about this. I love that you said that one thing you've done is to let go when you really had made plans for it to be in person. And I know the way that you host events is there is a lot of interaction. It's like it's the last one, you even had breakout rooms later and we discussed things and we did the work. Is there any part of that coming into this one? Do you have breakout rooms or smaller mini groups?
So I don't have any specific groups like that during the conference, but after the conference, we do plan on, continuing to support people. So we actually have a monthly yoga teacher coaching circle that's hosted by one of my fellow yoga teacher friends. And it is a really powerful experience to gather with other yoga teachers and we just talk about some of our struggles. Our next coaching circle is tomorrow, and we're talking about that fine line between dumping and sharing in your yoga classes. I'm sure we all kind of know what we're talking about. You don't want to spiritually bypass and just act like everything's fine, but you also can't bring your problems into the room and just dump them on your students. So what is that line between sharing versus dumping in your classes? So we have really great conversations in the coaching circles, and we're going to extend those conversations more into, diversity and living your yoga and more teaching skills. We host free master classes for students or for yoga teachers. We just have a lot going on. It's awesome to see it grow. It's so
I
good.
love that there's this continuation. So if someone, am I hearing this right? If they buy this ticket to go to the Yoga Teacher Conf, they get to go to that, but then they can also attend all of these monthly calls as well.
Mhm. Yep,
That's a
exactly.
huge value.
I know. Yep, just offering that support for teachers who we really need it right now. That's my biggest goal. And we even have like Yoga Unify who's coming, and they're going to talk about the state of the yoga teacher industry because it's very different right now and ways that they're looking to kind of improve it. We also even have a yoga studio roundtable discussion, and I want to expand that branch of our conference a little bit more to include more studio owners because I know they really need it as well. So we'll be
That's
adding more
amazing.
throughout the year. Mhm.
Wow. This is unbelievable. If anyone is thinking about just checking out who's speaking and if you want to learn more, then you'll go to yogateacherconf.com/elevate. Thank you so much for putting this together. And I would also say follow Allison and Yoga Teacher Conf on Instagram. If you are signing up, use the coupon code so that you get $25 off, and also $25 goes directly to India. Like 100% of that $25 goes. There's no fees or anything. It's just going to be donated directly.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that I'm forgetting that you think yoga teachers need to know about the conference or anything that's related to continuing education?
I don't think so. I think, more than anything, as teachers, we have this responsibility to continue with our continuing education, to push ourselves just to learn some new things. It can be easy to stay in the comfortable realm, right? Of, well, I've always learned anatomy, so I'm going to keep learning anatomy. But dipping your toe into something new like pranayama or mantra or the chakras, that can add another layer to your teaching. And this conference will give you a really great opportunity to dip your toes into a lot of different things. So,
Oh, that's fantastic. If anyone has any questions for Allison, she's really the expert on putting events together. She's done this for a long time, putting in-person events, teacher trainings, conferences together, and now online. And if you're curious, like if you're thinking about doing any size of event, pick her brain on this, really.
yeah,
Ask
I've
her the
learned a lot.
questions. Yes. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. And it also, I'm sure that there are many things that you learn that apply to, say, hosting a retreat or hosting a workshop or getting more people to come to your class. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is great.
Yeah. All those kinds of events, even workshops, they're technically an event. I define an event as it has a beginning and an end.
Right.
And all of those are events, workshops, retreats, all of that. And so you market them and you create experiences from them. And I love doing it. And yeah, I've learned a lot over the last few years. So I'm more than happy to share that.
That's amazing. If anyone has further questions, put them in the comments, tag Allison and ask them, or you can get them in right now at the end especially for those who are here live. Also, I'm curious to know, for those of you who are here live, what does your continuing education look like? How often do you sign up for something? Is it always in the yoga world? Do books count, courses count? I'm curious to know what your continuing education looks like and maybe what you would like to see showing up for continuing education. Also, I want to highlight, Allison, that this counts for CE credits with Yoga Alliance. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I think right now I'm at 12. You can definitely get 12 Yoga Alliance CEUs. And they're counted as like those contact hours. So you get access, you can basically get all of your CEUs at this one event.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So when you say that it counts as contact, this is because Yoga Alliance did that. Is it until the end of this year that counts?
I believe it's till the end of this year. And the way that we set up our continuing education hours, we track whether or not you actually attended. Even if you take them afterwards, there's a short quiz that you take at the very end to prove that you watched it. So because we want to keep that integrity, we want to keep that high quality for all of our teachers. So
Oh, that's so smart. Oh my gosh, I love that. Especially for those who are listening and putting something together, who want to like send out certificate of completion or whatever. That's a great tip to have that little small quiz at the end.
yeah.
What do you, this is completely not related question. What do you think is going to happen? Or maybe with Yoga Alliance and the continuing education and being online. Right? No idea. You're like, I don't work for Yoga Alliance. I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm very curious to see. I'm very curious to see what happens.
Me as well.
I think we have great opportunities with virtual, but we also, we want to maintain the integrity of our virtual events and workshops as well. So how will Yoga Alliance help ensure that there is that high quality, that high level of learning?
Right.
That's what I think really I'd like to see. And again, one of the reasons why I created this conference, because I want that high quality for teachers. Because I think that's what we're hungry for and what we're really looking for.
Yeah. Renee is saying that she also loves the quiz idea. I know. I feel like that's a key takeaway that we can implement into our own. If we have workshops or courses, that's a great way to make sure that everyone's kind of finishing to the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I could go on.
Thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, it's just really amazing to watch the work that you're doing. I know that you work very hard to connect yoga teachers with information, but then also themselves. You're definitely a connector out in the community, and I'm just very grateful to to see the work that you're doing and to see and hear from teachers who are taking this and learning so much. I learned so much at the last one that you did. Like as a participant, as a student there, I learned so much. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And it was so great at that last one to see people connect with each other and form new friendships. It makes my heart sing. Well, thank you for doing what you're doing, Shannon, because you've inspired a lot of this. So I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Renee is saying the conference is such a gift. Thank you. I completely agree. Thank you, everyone who's been here live today. Just to let you know, we do a couple of live shows each and every month. And so if you hit subscribe on our YouTube channel and then you can also get notifications and make sure you're on our email list, then you'll see when those lives are happening. Thank you so much, Allison, for being here today.
Thank you, Shannon. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.